Guys, today we're going to talk about the top 5 fun jobs that also pay a lot of money. So these jobs will mostly be focused on tipped jobs. So tipped jobs are an incredible thing where you can actually make a lot of money to your actual paper income. And for example, let's say you make $25 to $30 an hour in tips. A lot of people don't track that. If they had a tip tracker, they'd be realizing that instead of making $15 an hour, they're actually making $40 an hour. They're actually making a lot of money consistently. So we're going to go over the top 5 fun jobs, which are all tipped jobs. So here we go with number 5. All right, guys, number 5 on this list is waiter and waitress. So waiter and waitress, they can make a lot of money depending on what the restaurant is. Is it a busy restaurant and doesn't have a lot of turnover? So what I mean by turnover is it a fast turnover? Can they get customers out of there quick? And are the menu items highly priced? So what you want is busy, menu items are high priced, and you get customers out of there quick. No offense to any restaurant customers watching this video, but if those three things apply, and you are good at customer service, because not everybody is, but if you're just always smiling, always taking care of your customer, these servers, these waitresses and waiters, they can make, $200, $250 in a night. Even if they make over $100, that's still pretty good. So imagine they're making $200 a night, and let's say they work 5 days a week, right? So they get their minimum wage paycheck. Let's say they're making $800 every 2 weeks, net income. And then they have $200 every single night in their pocket, right? So that could be up to $3,200, or that's on 4 days a week, actually. If you're doing 200 and they work 5 days a week, and they're actually averaging that, which would be a little hard to average, but if you're working at a really good restaurant, it is possible. They could be pulling $4,000 extra a month. So that's a lot of money. It makes their hourly wage, more like, $20 an hour more. So if they're in California, they're making like $35, $40 an hour, which is really good money. So most restaurants, you're not going to find tipping that much. Like you're probably going to make, on average, probably 70 to 150 a night. But like I said, it all depends on the restaurant. Every restaurant's different. If you're working at some chain like Applebee's, you're probably not going to make that much compared to, a more expensive restaurant that's really classy, really busy, big tippers. A lot of people with high income go there. So, but yeah, great job, especially if you're young. But even if you're not young, this is sometimes a really great job that people do for a long time because it pays so well. So waiter, waitresses, depending on the restaurant, they can make a lot of money, and also depending on their customer service skills. Let's get on to number 4. All right, number 4 on this list is golf caddy. So some people might not find this job fun, but I think it's kind of fun to be on a golf course for a long time and just hang out at a country club. So not every golf caddy job will be similar, just like a restaurant server, right? You got to find the right place. If you go to a high-end country club, you get a golf caddy job, getting paid minimum wage, and you're carrying somebody's bags around, being their caddy for a really high-income individual. And odds are it is a high-income individual because he's part of this high-end country club. So, this is one of the great places to network. This is a great place to network because you get to network with all these high-income individuals. You're basically walking around with them for hours, right? So you're going to talk to them the whole time. So not only do you get that amazing networking opportunity to, get to know all these high-income individuals and pick their brain and possibly become friends with them, but they're also going to tip you. And if they like you, they might tip you a lot. They might tip you $100. They might tip you $200, right? It all depends. But this is another fun job where you can cake up on the tips. You're getting paid your minimum wage. And then, hey, if you can pull $100, $200 a day from doing this, you're going to make a lot of money per month, right? Let's say you make $3,500 in tips a month, right? $3,500 in tips a month. If you're making, let's say, $150 a day on average, you're out there 5 days a week. So if you're pulling that along with your minimum wage paycheck, which, like I said, let's say $700 to $900 every 2 weeks, if you're like in California or something, now you're making over $5,000 a month. So it's good money. I've talked to some golf caddies. I've never done the job before, but I have talked to some, and a lot of them claim they make more money than some people with master's degrees. So it's one of those very hidden gem jobs that not a lot of people know about. But not every place is the same, right? You got to find a good country club. It's with some good tippers there, right? So you got to find the right place. And that's what a lot of the jobs on this whole entire list is. You got to find the right place, because not every place is the same. That's absolutely true. So golf caddy is one of those hidden gem jobs, depending on the location, that you can make a lot of money and a lot of income. And I personally think it would be pretty fun. Not fun to carry around heavy golf clubs all day, but just being on the golf course, networking, talking the whole time. Pretty fun job. Anyways, let's get on to number 3, guys. All right, guys, number 3 on this list is casino supervisor. So I will say this is probably the least fun of the 5 on this list, because you have to deal with a lot of drama. You have to deal with a lot of drunk people. You have to deal with a lot of people just kind of acting up. And sometimes it gets a little hectic, for sure. So my heart goes out to casino supervisors. Sometimes they have to deal with some very immature people, some very drunk people. But overall, it can be a very fun job. Just being in a casino environment, so many social interactions per day. Like, you talk to so many people. And it just, like, imagine sitting at a desk, right? And you don't really talk to anyone all day. You're working a remote job, or you're working some kind of engineer job where you have like a team of 5 or 6 people. Working in a casino is a whole different experience. You will basically be talking to maybe even hundreds of people a day, depending on how big the casino is. But even a small card club, you're still going to talk to like dozens of people a day. So you get so much social interaction that it's pretty fun. Also, casino supervisors, they make a good, decent hourly wage, usually more like $4 to $5 above minimum wage, and then they get tips. So not every casino do they get tips. I don't think they get tips in Indian casinos, but I could be wrong about that. But in card clubs in California and card clubs in most states, they do get a percentage of the dealer's tips, which is usually around 15% on average. And then in Vegas, I think it's the same thing. I believe they get a percentage of the dealer's tips. Don't quote me on that, because I've never worked in Vegas. I've never been in Vegas, but I'm pretty sure it works the same way there. So they get basically 15% of the whole shift's tips, and then they have their own decent hourly wage. So, if you're talking like net money, like when I refer to money, I'm always talking about net. I'm not talking about gross. So net, they can make, easily over 5,000 a month, quite easily, sometimes over 6,000. Once again, just like all the jobs on this list, it depends on the casino. It depends on, what type of casino it is. Like if it's some type of casinos, they might make barely anything. I've seen some casinos where, a table game supervisor is getting paid like $20 an hour, and they're not getting any tips at like some Indian casino in the middle of nowhere, right? That's not a great career. You're driving an hour and a half, you're making $20 an hour, which is not terrible, but you want to be making more than that. And, this job at a decent casino, a good casino, you could be making, if we're talking hourly wage, well over $40 an hour if you combine tips and your normal wage. So it's a very good job. A lot of people stay casino supervisors like their whole life, because it's very lucrative. But yeah, casino supervisor, great job. If you can get into it, you'll have to deal with a lot of madness, a lot of stuff, but the money is definitely worth it. So casino supervisor, number 3. Let's get on to number 2. All right, guys, number 2 on this list is bartender. So I will make a separate video on bartender in general and how you can become a bartender. but this can be a very lucrative job, especially if you are an attractive woman. Hope nobody gets offended by that. Just kind of common sense. If you're an attractive woman as a bartender, you will have a lot of drunk guys just throwing you money. I know a lot of women that make on a Friday, Saturday night, busy night at like a dive bar, they will clear $500, $600, $700 pretty easily. So that's just cash money, easy money. They're not even working 8 hours. They're working like 5 hours. So bartender is definitely a job you want to work Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. It's not really worth it to work the other days, depending on the bar. But the main 3 nights you're looking at are Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. And you can make a great living just off those 3 nights. But you can also go do something else too with your other 2 nights that you can work, right? Go do 2 nights of work of something else and do 3 nights of bartending. And you'll be sitting really pretty. So not every bar is the same. At places like Applebee's and Chili's and those restaurant type bars, you're probably not going to make that much. And at a very slow type of bar, you're not going to make much either. Where the tips really come into play is just like an old fashioned bar or like a dive bar, just anything that gets super rowdy and busy. It might be kind of annoying to work that, right? You have a lot of drunk people. You have to deal with a lot of drunk people. But being a bartender can be really fun too. Like if you like that party atmosphere, you like that social energy, you like that nightlife, if that type of energy is what you're into, like this could be an absolutely fun job for you, and it pays great. So a lot of bars you'll make probably at least $150 a night in tips, unless the bar is just really not that great. But at least $150, and on a busy Friday, Saturday night, you can cake up $300-$400, pretty consistently. So, and some bartenders, if the location is fantastic and a lot of high income people go in there, you can make $400 or $500 a night, right? So you add all that up, right? 3 days a week. Let's say they're working Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and they're pulling $300 a night. And their hourly wage too. That's, let's see, 12, 24, easily making over $5,000 a month net. So bartender can be a great job. How you get into bartending is, most of them, I believe, go to bartending school, but I don't think you necessarily have to, but I could be wrong about that. So I will research about that and make a video on that. So bartender, great job. You're going to have connections to get in, just like any job in the world. But very lucrative job. One of the best jobs you can get without a degree, in my opinion. And like I said, if party atmosphere, social energy like that is your thing, this is the job for you. But just realize you'll have to deal with some drunk people. You'll have to deal with some chaos. You're going to have to deal with a lot of things, so work at a bar with good security, good bouncers. That's probably something you definitely want. But number 2, bartender, great job. Let's get to number 1 on this list. All right, guys, number 1 on this list is card dealer. So card dealer is a dealer at a casino who deals you cards, blackjack, baccarat, pai gow poker. And you also have, dealing Texas Hold'em too, which is a whole different side of the casino. So these dealers can make a lot of money. Trust me. You can average easily at a good card club, whether it's small or big. It just has to be busy with the right players that tip a lot. It doesn't matter if the casino is small or big. Doesn't matter if the casino is classy. It doesn't matter any of that. You just need the right clientele, and you need the card room to be busy or the big casino to be busy. Like I said, both card clubs and big casinos, you can make a lot at both. You can average easily $300 a night, $400 a night. If you go to a card club in California, I think Washington also has card clubs as well. And like I said, you can easily pull $300 to $400 a night by a busy card club, right? The right clientele, find the right tippers. And also, this is an extremely fun job. right? Very fun. You get so many social interactions a day. Like you get to talk to so many people. You get to talk to all your coworkers and you get to talk to all the customers. You're not going to want to talk to like every single customer, right? I mean, you're going to because it's your job, but I'm not saying you're going to have fun with every single conversation. But the fact is, you get to talk to so many people, and it's pretty amazing. Just that social energy, and you don't, unlike bartending, you don't have to deal with like so many drunk people. You will have to deal with drunk people, 100%, but it won't be as overwhelming as a bartender would have to deal with. So you're getting all these social interactions a day. It's a very social job, and you're caking up a lot of money. You're getting paid your minimum wage job, which in California is, 15, 16 bucks an hour. And, you're making probably a minimum, depending where you're working, but probably a bare minimum over $100 a day. And you're making up to $400, $500 a day, right? Let's just say your average is $250, right? You're working at a good card club or, a big fancy casino in Vegas, like Bellagio or something like that. I've heard they make pretty well there. So the fancy ones make more, like the Wynn, they do really well there as well. So let's say you're making an average of $250 a night, right? And you're working 5 days a week. Let's see, do the math on that real quick, which is, $1,250 a week, I believe. So that's basically $5,000 in just tips. And your hourly wage too, your minimum hourly wage, which is probably $700-800 every 2 weeks. So very lucrative job, very high paying, a lot of fun. So I think this is number one. A lot of people don't know about this job, right? They don't realize how high income potential it can be. And if you're wondering how to become a card dealer, you might be thinking, oh, I have to go to dealing school. No, only like 10% of dealers go to like dealing school. It is good to go to dealing school if you have no connections, right? Like you don't know how to get a job in the casino and you've tried to apply and they won't hire you. One of the things about dealing school is you'll get that connection, right? Like if they're a good dealing school, one of their jobs is to get you a job, right? They have connections for sure. So, and if they like you during the dealing school, they will definitely hook you up. So, and you'll learn the skills. But I would say 90% of dealers learn on the job. They're trained for like a month or something. Some of them aren't even trained. They just throw them on there. But they're trained for like a month in-house and, boom, card dealer. And it's a very lucrative job, very fun job. Every casino is different though. Some casinos you might make barely anything and it might not be fun at all. So like all the jobs on this list, every single one is different and you have to do your research, right? Like ask somebody that already works there regarding any single job on this list, okay? If you're gonna apply somewhere, ask somebody in the same position how much they make a day. Most likely they'll be very happy and inclined to tell you. So ask them how much they make a day. If you're satisfied with that answer, then apply. So, but these are 5 fun jobs, 5 high-paying jobs. So if you guys want to have fun, you don't have a college degree, or even if you do have a college degree and you just want to get away from that boring 9-to-5 job, but you still want to make money, then these 5 jobs are for you. And you can always go back to your main career at some point as well. So, and these are jobs you can actually do on the side too. A lot of card clubs will let you deal 1 day a week. A lot of bartending will let you bartend 1 day a week. So great part-time jobs too. Imagine working a 1-day part-time job where you pull like an extra $1,000 a month, right? So anyways, these are the top 5 fun jobs that also pay well. Hope you guys had a good experience and I will see you in the next video. Please subscribe if you can. I'm trying to grow this channel and I would really appreciate it. Thank you guys.